Hello and welcome to the latest round of the AK Racing V8 Supercar Championship. It's Season 4. We're at Circuit Park, Zandvoort. Excuse my pronunciation there. Wouldn't know, I've been commentating for a little while after that. But anyway, we're here at Circuit Park, Zandvoort for this round of the AK Racing V8 Supercar Championship. And what a race we have got lined up for you tonight. Just looking at those times down the left-hand side, all the way down to P8, separated by less than a second. And of course, it's practice. Doesn't mean anything, so can't wait to see what we have in store tonight once we get into the serious business of qualifying. So, just looking at the points so far, we have one man way out in front. That is Andy O'Hara, who is... Can't quite see him in the server just yet, but we still have about 15 minutes left of practice before we get into qualifying. In fact, let's have a look around this circuit. We are going to try and find our fastest man on track at the moment, and I think we've got him just as he's about to start a lap. So let's... No, he's actually going to go into the pits by the looks of things. That's unfortunate. Let's see if we can't find someone else. Here we go. We're going to join Ben Crabb for a lap around Circuit Zandvoort. Going into turn number 1, slightly banked. You can use that to your advantage, but expect to have a little bit of carnage in these races. And on to turn 2 and 3 before into another tight left-hander. Slight bank there. Very easy to get some wheel spin on the exit before we come to this roller coaster ride of 5, 6 and 7, the crest blinds drivers. So you're sort of guessing where the track drops away for turn number 7. Slight brake lock up there for Crabb, and he manages to keep it on the black stuff, and we head up towards the first of many passing opportunities as Crabb actually demonstrates that perfectly. So it's a tight and twisty circuit that really does test a driver's capability of being able to, one, control a car and set up a car. So really looking forward to seeing how these drivers get on with it as we get up to probably my favourite part of this track, and that's this little chicane that turns into a hairpin, more like a fishhook I guess you could call it, before we power out of the fishhook into the final 2 corners. And it's very hard to get a car set up just right for these turns. Here Benny's just balancing that throttle. Don't want to run too wide there. You think you can always carry the throttle, but sometimes you have to back out of it. So that was a lap around Circuit Park Zandvoort in a V8 Supercar with Ben Crabb, currently 5th on the standings there. And if we swap over, he is currently just trying to find him on the points. There he is. He's where is he sitting? First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7th position in the championship. So he's right up there with Spinozzi and Munro, his 2 Nissan counterparts. So he's doing a pretty good job, and he's really been impressing this season. I think at Road America, he was right up there in the top 5 all night long. Now tonight he looks like as if he's going to repeat that performance. In fact, let's try and find another driver. Well, actually, let's follow this man here, your current championship leader, Andy O'Hara. He's just been, he's just an unstoppable driver no matter what he runs. And he currently leads the championship by about 70 points over Peter Reid in the Walkinshaw Andretti United entry. So, in fact, this is round number 3 tonight. Of course, last round was at Sonoma. I have a feeling I've probably mistitled the stream name. Let me just double check that.
I don't mind backseat gaining.
Thank you, Twitch, for as it turns out, I have got that right. Pardon me. So, Andy O'Hara currently leading this man here, Peter Reid, your current reigning champion. Of course, with the number 1 plastered firmly on the side of that car, and the ZB Commodore. And he looks like as if he's going to go straight back to the pits just as we join him. Let's have a look at this man here. He's currently 3rd in the championship, and he only trails Reid by 12 points. He had a good round at Sonoma Raceway. Managed to pick up a position in the championship. In fact, he's going to go into the pits as well. That's okay. We'll find someone who's going to stay out there for more than 1 lap. And here is Cordham's teammate, Delaney, in the second of the Shell V-Power Mustangs. He had a strong performance at Sonoma. Actually, I think it was a very quiet, underrated race from Delaney. Even from both the Shell V-Power Mustangs. They sort of just snuck in under the radar last round. But they did record some brilliant results. As Monjan in the chat there, drivers briefing about to start. So these drivers are just about to wrap up their practice. And then we're going to get into the good stuff, that is racing and, well, qualifying and then racing. In fact, let's have a quick look at how tonight is going to work. So we have got 20 minutes of qualifying and then 2 races of 31 laps. And of course, I do believe we have a reverse grid race number 2. Monjan, correct me if I'm wrong. And a huge shout out to the latest followers of the channel. We have, oh god, I'm gonna struggle to pronounce that one. JACD Star, AGT25, and Hobbo1971. Thank you very much for the follows, guys. I hope you enjoy tonight's broadcast. And of course, starting tonight, we will be uploading everything onto our YouTube channel. So make sure you head over to YouTube and look up Go Race Promotions and yeah, watch back some of the action after tonight. Cars R61, some of these dudes backing up after the 6-hour yesterday machines. Yeah, that's right. I was going to mention that a little bit earlier. We have a couple of drivers I've seen who ran in yesterday's Spa 6-hour from Octane Online. Of course, Cars R61 and myself were involved in that one. We finished P11, but drivers such as Ben Crabb and Andy O'Hara were both in that race as well. And Absolute Machines is correct. Well, let's have a quick fly around this circuit. Oh, geez, let's get the zoom right, as I'm sort of looking at this Shell V-Power Mustang just sitting on the track there. So, some key points. Turn number 1. Of course, one of the most important corners on lap number 1. As you can see, it's got a lot of time marks heading off the track there. But certainly possible to defend around the outside going into turn number 1, thanks to that slight banking. However, you don't want to get out too wide, otherwise you will find yourself armpit deep in this sand trap here. And then we're going to head over to turn number 4, which is another passing opportunity if you are game. Of course, some of the more natural movements of the car mean you go from the right hand side of the track to the left, so probably expect to see a bit of track sacrificing into turn number 4, but if you manage to get your nose in, well, can force your way through, and the proximity of that wall to the edge of the track, the driver on the outside will really have to do some defensive, maybe even conservative driving there. Okay, we're going to warp over to the next key section of the circuit. I mean, that section there, the roller coaster, goes down, then up over this crest here. This corner here, the one that we're looking at right now, expect to see a few mistakes here because of this crest here. It's right where drivers will be picking up the brakes. So expect to see a few lock brakes. As you can see right there, we've got a few lock brakes already. And into this corner here. Whoa, we've just warped through the track there. Now this corner here, another good passing opportunity. It's pretty well ripe for a dive bomb. Of course, drivers will be moving to the left to try and follow the natural racing line, but if you can just swing it to the right and leave your braking a little bit later, you can pull off a pretty good block pass, and very easy to defend after that pass, because the next corner here, you're on the right side of the track. Right, moving on. This is another good passing opportunity here. Of course, the fish hook, one of my more favourite parts of this circuit. It's very tight. It's very difficult to make the pass work. But if you've got a willing dance partner with you, you can make the move work. But big thing is this curb here. If you leave it too late and you bounce off this curb, there is a chance you will cause a bit of contact, and that will land you in a little bit of trouble with our stewards. You can bet that. This corner here, the second last corner, do expect to see a... Well, it's fairly bumpy on the approach to this corner and even through the centre. So very easy to have a car that gets very unstable, and that can lead to, well, drivers ending up off the circuit here, and well, not a lot of runoff available. That's another key thing about this circuit. Not a lot of runoff. Of course, we've touched on that barrier there, how close it is to the track. But there is very little runoff, even just with the gravel traps right on the edge of the circuit. Once you drop a wheel off, that can be the end of your lap, and maybe even the end of your race if you get it wrong bad enough. So, just getting set to jump into qualifying. Tygo 988 server name. This is a private event, so unfortunately won't be able to jump into this session, I'm afraid, mate, if that's what you're hoping to do. AK Racing runs these events. Do have to sign up to AK Racing, as we see a car cars making their way onto the circuit. So that is great to see. We have, looks like, Ellis on the circuit, and we have the Mustang. Looks like Campbell there, getting a little bit wrong on cold tyres. Of course, these cars they're not very easy to drive. Got to have a very, very sensitive right foot on the throttle, otherwise you will find yourself facing the wrong way. Yeah, Tygo, unfortunately, won't be able to join, but you can stay with us and enjoy the action here on Twitch. Hope you do stick around, mate, because these races are really, really thoroughly entertaining races. As you can see, just in practice, we have drivers within a second of each other. In fact, you have to go down to pretty well P15. And by the way, this is only practice. Some of these guys, I imagine they will have a couple of concretes of sand on board with their car. So, well, there we go. We've just jumped straight to qualifying. All right. And look at the mad rush out of the pit lane. So, whoa. Mad rush. Oh, we got a Mustang sideways there. I want to say that's either Tom Lauder or someone else. Unfortunately, we just couldn't find the skins for those two Mustangs. So, yeah, a bit of a shame. sure they were fantastic looking skins. Right, let's just bring up Sarah Carcel briefly so we can try and follow someone on the circuit. We're going to follow Andy O'Hara, of course, one of our resident aliens. Also, O'Hara, just fantastic driver in no matter what he runs. So expect to keep an eye on this man. Expect him to be at the top or near the top at least. Of course, we touched on O'Hara's performance yesterday in the Spa 6 hour. I believe the Rouge guys actually finished in the top 10. Although that car looks not looking very stable on the outlap. Oh, yeah, a bit of a slide happening there. Oh, got that Nissan in the background there, sliding all over the place. Tygo 988, thank you for the follow as well, mate. Pity you can't join the race, but that's okay. You can join the race here and live vicariously through these guys. So we've got some hot laps starting now. We're going to try and find someone who's just about to start their first hot lap. Here we go. We got Chris Munro. Of course, one of two Munros in this championship. Of course, his brother Matt Munro stepped up from the Super 2 championship from last season. And well, he's having a bit of an experience in the main game. But Chris Munro, another driver that you should keep an eye on. He is definitely a driver that has got pace. So we're right on board with Munro now. Oh no, we've got to check some mismatch there for Dominiak. Hopefully he can get into the server in time for the rest of qualifying. He's got 17 minutes. As we stick with Munro, he's picking his way through some traffic that just went out, or maybe there was a driver who made a mistake on his opening lap. Munro looking very controlled at the moment. Nice and smooth. A little bit of a slide. So this is looking like a very strong lap for Munro already. As he makes his way up to the fishhook. Does he get it right? Very late on the brakes. Gets over that curb nicely. So that's the line you pretty well want. Now Hitt makes his way up to the final two corners. We jump on board with him for the remainder of this lap. Oh, he grabs a bit of sand. A little bit too much of that exit curb. But caught him straight to the top of 140.7. What can Chris Munro do? Has he set a valid lap? Doesn't look like he has. Nichols up to 4th and Lauder in 5th. Munro, Matt Munro now. He's up into 2nd. So that's a great lap from Matt Munro, but Thornton now to the top. So it's Muster and O'Hara now into 2nd. Tiger, if you want to join, what do you have to do, mate? You have to join up with AK Racing. And you have to hopefully wait for an available slot in the championship. Monjan, if you're still in chat, if you can help out Tygo, that'd be awesome. Hobson up to 2nd. So Brett Hobson. What an improvement from him. He's 0.2 off of Thornton's time. So better keep an eye on him. Not used to seeing him that high up, but maybe Zandvoort just agreeing with him very well. Well, maybe a little bit better than some of the other tracks we've been to. Delaney, oh, look at that, a 39.7 from Delaney. So Delaney now leads the way in the Shell V-Power Mustang, number 17. Thank you very much, Monjan. Oh, look at that, Quantum responds, a 38.7. What a lap. So the V-Power Mustangs are really hooked up. And Reed into the 39.0 as well, so his first shots have been fired by Quantum, and Munro just 0.1, just a tenth slower than Courtham, as we're seeing names moving up and down the leaderboard. Thornton now into the 39.040. Oh, O'Hara 38.8. Wow. We've only been in this session for not even 6 minutes, and it's just been absolute rapid fire from the drivers on track. 39.7 by Eaton, personal best, and for Courtham, he's got that wrong. And have a look at the gap for the top 5, 3 tenths, and where is that? Didn't quite see where that happened. We're looking at Andy O'Hara now. In fact, let's jump on board with him. We're heading up into this second gear right-hander. I keep forgetting the name of these corners. Unfortunately, I don't have a track map on me, so expect to hear me keep calling them that right-hander and that left-hander. But up to the fish hook. Looking at the dash there for O'Hara, he's 3 tenths up. Will he get held up by the all-white Mustang ahead of us? He's lost half a tenth. Looking at the display on the end game display there. Not quite the best run out of the final corner, but he will go to the top with a 38.6. Less than a tenth between himself and Courtham, so O'Hara will be satisfied with that. Probably expect to see him jump back to the pits, start making a few little setups. So we have Thornton, he's pulled off to the side, and he will walk back to the pits straight away. Chris Munro, what can he do? He didn't register a time, so that's probably his out lap. Someone answer, if someone from AK can answer this question, why does that rubble car always look filthy? More than sponsorship from Rubble, I think they need sponsorship from Karcher, get themselves a high pressure washer. So Chris Munro making his way through the roller coaster section. As we see Hum improve up to 17th of 140.1. So the top 20 actually within 2 seconds of each other. So the competition is alive. And Cicluna now 140.8. He'll go up to 23rd. Jump on board with Chris Munro, and this is not looking like a good lap, as you can see by the display on the steering wheel. The Delta, 0.6 of a second off. Did see him run a little bit wide in the previous sector, so that's why he's so far behind. Let's try and see what our championship leader is up to. And he is on a good lap at the moment. Little over, almost 2 tenths up on his previous best if we're looking at that data display. Dominiak's still having a checksum mismatch. Hopefully he can make it into the server in time. He's still got 10.5 minutes to go. Not a strong exit out of the fishhook for Reed. Can he pull it together for the final sector? Grabs a bit of the gravel. And fires it down the main straight. What can he stop the clock at? It's a 138.9. It is an improvement. It's not enough to put him up onto the second row though. Oh, big slide as well, going to turn number 1. As we cross into 10 minutes to go of this qualifying session, as Reed gets it all wrong. So that scratched this lap. Caught him now. He's into the final sector. He exits the fish hook. What can he do? Well, actually I think this is an out lap, judging by that Delta. Courtham. He'll be eager to take back that pole position from Andy O'Hara. It's less than a tenth between himself and O'Hara. And Ben Crabb up to 6th place now, so 1:39.1 for Crabb. He's going straight to the pits. Chris Munro, look at that, a 38.6, less than 3 thousandths of a second between himself and O'Hara. That is such close competition between these guys here in the AK Racing V8 Supercar Championship. Well, let's check how Courtham's doing this lap. He's got a small improvement. Well, he did have a small improvement. Good exit out of the second gear right-hander. And he keep it together and get focus on a strong exit. He can. And watch that delta climb up to a 10th. He's going to need a little bit more than a 10th to get ahead of Chris Munro. Into the fishhook we go. Nice and smooth from Courtham. And a great exit too. He misses the apex though. That's cost him. Can he bring it back in the final corner? Doesn't look like he can. That's going to be so painful to see that .042 on that dash. We have another driver off the track. It's Delaney. Where is that? That is just before the fishhook. So Delaney's just sitting on the side of the track there. Not sure what he's doing. I wonder if he's had a hardware failure or is he just had to go AFK. Not really sure though. In fact, another driver off the track was Cotter. He's back into the pits though. Hobson is just hanging on to the top 10 at the moment. He'll be very happy with that. Runs a little bit wide going to turn number 4. As Campbell improves up to 14th, 39.8 for him. We'll jump on board with Hobbo now. He's not, unless he's had a horrible middle sector. Oh, he's grabbed that grass going over the crest and whoever that driver was in the unit Commodore. I want to say it was, I don't know who it is, unfortunately. As Hobson's gone way off the track. What's happened there? That's, he may have run a little bit wide after that quick right-hander, and that's what's planted him into the Armco. As we see Cicluna, he improves up to 18th. Spinozzi, he's up into 12th in one of the monster Nissans. Spinozzi had another driver had a strong round in Sonoma. If I'm not mistaken, he was involved in just about every single battle on track. Bit of a slide there out of turn number 4. And now through the this roller coaster section. And Andy O'Hara now to the top at 38.5 now. Dominiak's still having that checksum mismatch. I'm sure he'll be tearing his hair out by now. But, Spinozzi now. There's Tom Lauder now. He improves up to 13th now. 39.4 for Lauder. The top 15, well, top 14 separated by a second. That's how tight it is. So I don't think we're going to see an improvement from Spinozzi this lap. Unless he really puts a dream final sector together. Let's see if we can't find someone. Well, here's another one of the drivers that we haven't quite got a skin for yet. That is Richards in the all-white Mustang. We got an early tip in from Kaiser 61, tipping O'Hara. Never say never. We still have 4.5 minutes left in this qualifying session. And Richards, well, we see him in the British Touring Car Championship, and he had a really good battle in the last round. So don't turn your nose up to this guy either. Pardon me. See how Richards is going this lap. Oh, that is tight on that delta. Gets a good run through that little right-hander. And that's a very strong exit, so he's now up on his previous time. Can he keep it together for the rest of this lap though? Misses the apex slightly on the run up towards the fishhook. Still very tight margins here for Richards. Into the fishhook he goes, down to second. He doesn't quite get it pointed in perfectly, and that's cost him time. That's a good exit. Oh, big slide. You just saw him grab the curb on the final corner. So Richards, he won't be able to improve this time by. It's still a 7th position. He'll be happy with that, I'm sure. See how Thornton's going here in the number 55 truck assist Mustang. See all the bumps this track has. We'll run through that downhill right-hander. 2 wheels it through the right-hander. And fires up towards the, firing up towards the fishhook now. So Thornton, he'll have time to get one more run in, I think. Or one more lap. Got drivers in the pit lane. Their window is shrinking. Got Spinozzi and Ball in the pit lane. They don't get out now, they're not going to get another lap in. So Spinozzi back on track. We're waiting on Ball to come out as well. Cotter improves. Now up to 5th place. 6th, sorry. So can Thornton improve? He does, but it's not enough to push him up in the standings. He does secure that 4th place though, unless Peter Reid grabs join him just as he grabs that inside front brake over the crest. Locks the brake again into the right-hander. Really see how these cars are riding the bumps and how they move. Delaney improves up into 6th at 39.057. Still half a second between himself and O'Hara. See Gutterson improve. Can't get himself off the final row yet. And Campbell improves in with the 39.6. He stays in 16th though. So what can Pete, is it Peter? I think it's Phil Reid actually. No, Peter Reid. Think of the drag racing driver with Phil Reid. Peter Reid, he's still in 5th. And O'Hara improves again. A 38.4 now for the number 23. Just seems to be fast in everything he runs in. Driver ahead of him. It's the 99 of Cotter. I think that's Cotter. Was Cotter. He got it all wrong coming out of turn number 4. And he just managed to keep it out of the fence, but the clock is up. Chris Munro, he's improved up to a 38.4. So Chris Munro's left it to the final lap. Just trying to find someone who's about to complete a lap. So not Cotter. So Hummy, he improves up to 18th position, and Delaney also improves into 5th position. So we're just going to wait and see what can O'Hara do. Delaney, a 38.8, secures 5th position. So last roll of the dice for these guys. So actually Courtham is close to finishing a lap. And he's got, I want to say that's, don't know who that is behind him, maybe Nichols. So can Courtham stop the clock? He doesn't improve. Nichols doesn't improve either. Can O'Hara improve? About to stop the clock. And he doesn't improve by the looks of things. So, for now, Chris Munro is your provisional pole sitter. So we're just going to find him in the mess there. There he is right there, Chris Munro, the number 185 Nissan. That really does need a bit of a pressure wash there. Right, let's have a look at the results of qualifying. Chris Munro does indeed take pole position with a 138.3 ahead of Andy O'Hara with a 138.4. So tight margins at the top there. Row number 2 will have Courtham and Thornton, 2 Mustangs in 3rd and 4th, both on 38.7s, but Courtham just managing to scrape through for 3rd. Delaney and Reed, they'll make up row number 3, while Cotter and Crabb in 7th and 8th. Richards and Hobson. Hobson just sneaking into the top 10. Well done to Hobson there. That's quite possibly that's his best performance to date. At least with my knowledge of the AK Racing V8 Supercar Championship. Oh, well done to Hobson there. Over the page, we're going to have Hall and Nichols in row number 6, while Lauder and Munro, and that's Matt Munro, will make up row number 7. Spinozzi and Campbell. Spinozzi just scraping into the top 15, while Campbell is just shy of edging himself into that top 15. Eaton and Hum, Cycluna and Ball round out the 20. And over the page, we then have Ches, Ellis, Gutterson and Fashni. And then, of course, we still have Dominiak trying to sneak into the server, but he hasn't quite fixed his issue. So hopefully we see Dominiak arrive in the server soon. But that's your pole sitter right there. Chris Munro in the number 185 Nissan. What are they, Ultimas? I want to say they're Ultimas. Rebranded Pulsars, that's what they are. But they're quite strong Pulsars anyway. Oh, we're going to get set up for a start here. But anyway, in chat, what did you think of that qualifying session? And what do you think that means for the race? Give us your early predictions. Do like to see what everyone thinks will happen in the coming race. It's always interesting to see what people think. So here we go. Let's go for a run up. See if I can get the buttons right. So we're going to go for a little walk up the grid here. So Courtham, he's done well to sort of hang on to that top 3. He's right there. What a fantastic looking grid. Unfortunately for those white Mustangs. That's my bad. I couldn't quite find the liveries. That's okay. I'm sure someone from AK will chip me over the back of the head for that one. Cars R61. I think Andy let me down. That's what you think. Cars you let a lot of people down though. Let's be honest. Well, Spinozzi that's the end of the top 15 Spinozzi. I expect him to move up in the field, honestly. He did really well at Sonoma Raceway. I think he will surprise a lot of people. So we are almost at the back of the grid. Let's actually move over to Faciony here in the local Legends Commodore, and that's the grid. That's his view. That's what he has to fight through going into turn number 1. So we've got Crazy Flamin' Koala. He's picking Munro. Which Munro? Chris or Matt? Because Matt Munro is back here. And then, of course, we have Chris Munro on the front row. Still got 50 seconds. Let us see your predictions. Biggest prediction, are we going to get through turn number 1 in one piece? Really hope we can get through turn number 1 in one piece. So we're getting set for a start. 30 seconds to go. Cannot wait to see this race unfold. I hope you're sitting there with bated breath as well, sitting at home, wherever you are joining us around the world here on Twitch TV. So here we go, the lights are up. And expect them to start lighting up. We have 6 lights on and 6 lights out, and away we go on racing. Tidy start from Matt Munro and Andrea O'Hara. We've got a car around in the background there. Oh, looks like one car has not gotten away at all, but we're going to fast forward up to the turn number 1. Andy O'Hara gets a good start, but he's run a little bit deep. Couple of drivers running deep. That looks like Lauder running a little bit wide, and then the rest of the field making their way through. Faciony running very, very deep. Let's move up onto turn number 4. It's Chris Munro still in front, just ahead of Andy O'Hara. One of the Shell V-Power Mustangs getting up the inside of, I want to say that's Reed, as we're going to jump straight back into our broadcast position as Chris Munro still leads Andy O'Hara. As that looked like it was Ellis who has DNF'd. Cannot see him. I think he's had a disconnection problem. So Chris Munro, 0.6 on Andy O'Hara. O'Hara sliding. We're looking at the back of Chris Munro's Nissan now. Looks like Richards has fallen way, way, way down. So Richards in the all-white Mustang, he's had a terrible start. He was up in the top 10 and now he's way down in 21st. I can't imagine what's happened to him. Unfortunately, we don't have replay in Assetto Corsa, so I won't be able to find out for you. Chris Munro is looking to check out early, but he's got Andy O'Hara right behind him. The field streaks down the main straight. The pit window now opens. So I know Hobson running in deep at turn number 1. He's lost 3 positions. So great qualifying performance, and he's got 2 guys ahead of him that are still racing. Hobson runs wide. So nightmare start gets even worse for Hobson now. He looks like he does manage to hold off Hum as they make their way through the roller coaster. They're giving each other room. Yes, they... So Hobson, he slots into 15th position now. We're right on board with him. He's right in the mid-pack. We see Cyclona up the inside of Lauder with a very, very, very opportunistic move, and straight away, looks like Eaton up the inside as well, so he took advantage of that. Oh, Lord is getting absolutely monstered here. He's got Gardison up the inside of him, and Fashni, he's lining up for a shot as well. So that's a terrible lap for Tom Lauder. Got bullied hardcore there. Field's just starting to spread out a little bit. Not quite spread out. As Chris Munro, no, caught him now, sets the fastest lap of the race. 140.7, so this is the fastest man on track at the moment. And he's got Thornton just behind him in the truck assist Mustang. We've got a battle just behind between Delaney and Reed, second of the Shell V-Power Mustangs. He's got reigning champion Reed right behind him. Chris Munro's he's just starting to check out a little bit from O'Hara. Still seeing positions swapping and changing down in the back half of the field. We jump on board with Reed now as he gives chase to Delaney. He's also got Ben Crabb just behind him. Still seeing a little battle in the background here. In fact, we're going to swap over to this battle here. We got Cycluna, Eaton, Lauder, Gutterson, and Fashni. And Richards is starting to edge his way into contention to this battle as well. Right now we're on board with Lauder. So he watches this battle between Cycluna and Eaton. Pretty sure these drivers were getting stuck into each other at Sonoma as well. Cotter as well, he's just made a move. Look at this, Lauder, mighty run out of the final corner. He's going to get up the inside of Eaton going into turn number 1. And a little lock up, but he pulls it up. And Richards, his teammate, in the second of the white Mustangs there, he manages to get up the inside of Fashni as well. Hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly as well. The gap between O'Hara and Munro, that's now starting to stretch out. It's almost a second now. So we'll start to get into the pit stop phase of this race. That's when we'll start to see some strategy play out. Maybe drivers haven't quite got the right tyre pressures. They'll be able to adjust that in the pit stop. We've got a sweet little battle forming here. We've got 4 or 5 cars lined up behind Matt Munro. This is for the final position in the top 10. Oh no, we have a driver off the track. That's Thornton. So where is he? Oh, he's spun it coming out of the fishhook. And he's in a really awkward position. And safety car has been called by the looks of things. So, well, that won't hurt Thornton too much. He might even be a little bit opportunistic and go into the pits, get some fresh tyres on that car, get his pit stop out of the way. Wait and see what he does. Will he take my advice? No, he doesn't. He stays out there. And he's got Anton Ches behind him in another one of the Nissans. So I know that Thornton was up there racing with Delaney. This man will be very frustrated. He had a really good start to the race. Right on board with Chris Munro now. almost got out to a second over Andy O'Hara. So that's the view out the back of the 185 Nissan Altima. So safety car will be in this lap by the looks of things, and we'll get back onto racing. We're going to ride on board with Andy O'Hara. See him try and get right at the back of Munro. Watch that gap decrease. He's also got Cortum and Delaney right behind him. Those two drivers are not drivers that you want to underestimate. Is that a bit of a wave there from Munro? Their way out of the fish hook to the final two corners. Let's get set for a restart now. So we're looking at the back of Chris Munro. Got a face of number 23 Holden Commodore, and Munro on it early, coming onto the main straight, and we are back to racing. We got the whole field spreading out. Almost 2 or 3 wide as we focus on Nichols going to turn number 1. Spinozzi, he's made his way up. Opportunistic pass into turn number 1. Oh, gets hooked up with Campbell. That's going to leave Campbell open to Hum. Both give each other room back there, Hum and Campbell. So Hum will have to slide back in behind Campbell now. Oh, we got Lauder sideways out of turn number 4. Back up the front. Well, Munro's just got back into his rhythm again, like as though he never got out of it. It's just again starting to stretch that lead. Focusing on Delaney. Also keep an eye on this guy here, Thornton. He'll be trying to carve his way through this field as quickly as he can. So he's already passed Ball. And now sets his sights on Fashioney. I don't expect that to be too hard for Thornton. As we got 2 cars around. That's Richards and Fashioney. We heard the screeching of locked tyres. So I have a suspicion that Fashioney may have just outbraked himself on the bumps and lost it. We have another driver dropping back. That's Nichols. Spinozzi up into the top 10. Look at this battle as they make their way down the main straight. They're almost 3 wide going into turn number 1. Nichols, Hobson and Cyclona giving each other room. Oh, amazing bit of driving from those 3 drivers. 3 wide going to turn number 1, and they didn't touch. Fantastic effort, guys. Oh, it's getting really tight back there. We're going to ride on board with Hobson now. So we look back at Tom Lauder, and he's got Eaton just behind him, and Thornton already up to 18th now. Swap back to Thornton now as he goes for thought about a lunge. He's pulled out of it. We have another yellow flag out. Which I think that yellow flag's been out all race actually. Lauder sneaking up the inside of Hobson. Oh, slides it in. Made a bit of contact. Oh, Thornton's he's caught up he's involved in that one. And somehow everyone's managed to get through. Only a little bit of contact. A little bit untidy there from Lauder, but he's paid the price more than anyone else. Maybe a little bit of impatience there from Lauder. Stick with Lauder for now. Ches, he's making his way up through the field as well. He's just got around Eaton. Yep. Car going, heard a car going very slow. Facially again. Facially having a bit of a struggle there. Of course, we're using the latest version of the V8 Corsa mod for a set of Corsa. Apparently it has changed how the cars handle quite significantly. I think a few drivers have been struggling just to get their heads around the new handling physics of the latest version of V8 Corsa. So we see Cotter here. Cotter was one of the main protagonists from the previous season. Might be another driver just struggling to get to grips with the new version. He's got Ben Crabb right up behind him. Oh, there was the camera I wanted. There we go. So we look back at Ben Crabb. Just trying to keep an eye on the gaps between each car. Lauder finally up the inside of Ball. He's had a good run, although Ball up the inside again. He's had to try and pull out of it. He's just made it work. So Lauder now back up to 17th. He's up, next car for him will be Hobson. Thornton, he's back into the top 15. Gets it sideways out of turn number 4. See Nichols just up ahead, he just locks the inside front. He's under pressure from Cycluna just behind him in the 23 Red Racing Mustang. So fight back. It's been a strong fight back so far for Thornton. Just goes in a little too deep for the second last corner. He's going to compromise his exit towards the final corner. Or runs it wide onto the main straight. As he continues his march forward. There's a chance there. Cycluna runs in a little bit deep into turn number 1. Cycluna manages to hold him off for now. But he runs it very wide. And that's going to give Thornton all the space he needs, so he gets through now. So Thornton up to 14th. Next in his sights will be Nichols. Just about to swap to these guys, but Hummer's made the move work through that downhill right-hander. In fact, we've got a driver falling back, Nichols. I think he's come unstuck in that same right-hander. So he was under pressure from Thornton, and Thornton now ticks another one off. This midfield battle, it's definitely keep an eye on it. We got some important. Well, we got some names in there that certainly sound familiar to myself. Of course, Tom Lauder, Nichols, both drivers that I think they're having a tough round at the moment. We've also got two DNFs in Guttison and Ellis. I have a suspicion that Ellis was that car that never got going at the start of the race. Saw that in the background. Actually, this is starting to get tight. Munro has not been able to pull away from O'Hara. Maybe O'Hara's just had a bit of a second wind, and he's climbed onto the back of the Nissan ahead. So Munro under pressure now from Andy O'Hara. Of course, these guys still have to make a pit stop. Just behind me have the two Shell V-Power Mustangs. Not sure if there's some team orders going on there. Oh, Munro runs in deep. He is under a lot of pressure from O'Hara. Just almost looks to me as though O'Hara's just very comfortable, just sitting behind us. Oh no, we have a car off the track. It's Hall. He's come unstuck coming out of the fishhook. So Hall, he was running really well. He was up in 8th place, sorry. But now he's dropped down to 12th, and that's another free position for Thornton. So Thornton, actually, he's almost into the top 10. I reckon Thornton will get into the top 10 again. Here's a good battle that's brewing right here. We've got Cotter and Crab. Just been getting a little bit closer to each other over the last few laps. We've also got Matt Munro, who's sitting behind them in the second of the Rabble Club Nissans. Cotty got a little bit sideways. That's compromised his entry into the right-hander. So Crab's... I don't think Crab can just get the power down as well as what Cotter can. Going to look out the back of Cotter's car now. Actually, might swap over to this battle here. Oh, Thornton. So he's gone off again at the fishhook. That's dropped him down to 12th, so maybe a little bit of impatience there for Thornton. Was battling with Hum in the DP Doric Mustang. He locks it up going into turn number 1. Maybe just feeling a little bit of pressure. Maybe just trying to rush to catch up to Spinozzi ahead of him. He's in the top 10 in the championship. He's just sitting behind Chris Munro, would you believe, who is outside of the top 5 in the championship, despite how well he is going today. This will be a good result for Hum. Hopefully it'll push him up a little bit further. Battle brewing here between Nichols and Campbell. They've just swapped positions. In fact, Nichols has fallen back behind Campbell, so I suspect that might have been a redress. Oh, ball running very deep into the fishhook. Seeing some very interesting lines. That's something I've actually forgotten to mention in the rundown of the circuit, just coming out of the fishhook. We'll just wait for Fashioney to go past it, and it will explain why we have a few drivers that are making mistakes out of this fishhook. So as you can see, the track actually drops away on the exit, and of course that unloads the carb. That creates a bit of wheel spin and sends people around. Now Tom Lauder, don't know what's happened to Lauder. He was up fighting for the top 15. Now he's in 22nd. So I don't know what has happened to Lauder. But this race is going all wrong for him. Oh, crap. Hard on the edge of the circuit there. So he's now got Matt Munro, I should say. About to climb all over the back of Cotter, so the pressure will be building on Crab. As they make their way into the fishhook. We got a great supporter in chatbot looks at things with crazy flame and koala. So we're going to swap over to Matt Munro here. We're going to ride on board with him. As soon as we find a camera angle, there we go. We're going to ride on top of the second of the Brabble Club Nissans. He's giving chase to Cotter. He's unable to make it stick in turn one for now. Oh, Cotter gets a huge slide out of the first corner. Munro runs a little bit wide himself, so both these drivers making a few little mistakes here. Oh, big slide again from Cotter. That'll bring Munro right under the rear wing of the 99 Commodore. Oh, Munro flirting with danger there. The first of our pitters, that's Hall. He's in the pits right now. As we see Crab, he's also under pressure as well. He's probably watching these two guys in his rear vision mirror. Just trying to pull away. Probably falling into that trap that we keep talking about here of trying to break that meter later. Oh, smoke signals there from Crab. He's almost off through the fish hook. That's going to leave him vulnerable to Cotter and Munro. Oh, we got the box seat right here. Crab looks like he's going to be able to defend. Oh, door handle to door handle. Cotter's in front for now, but he's on the wrong side of the track. Oh, what a brilliant exchange from these guys. So Crab is fallen down to 7th position, and he's vulnerable now to Matt Munro. As Munro ran the outside, we also have O'Hara and Reed into the pits. Oh, big slide from Munro. Not able to make it work on the car sales Nissan. Oh, Munro is really driving ragged at the moment. We're at the halfway point in this race, and we've got drivers in the pits now. So Hall, who was the first of the pitters, see if he can get a bit of an undercut happening. Oh, Crab sideways. He's under a lot of pressure at the moment. I have a feeling it's only going to be a matter of time for Matt Munro before he makes the move stick on Crab. I'm starting to pull in Cotter again. Wait to see if any of these guys pulls into the pit lane. This is the most exciting battle so far. In fact, all three of them are going into the pits. So, well, this is going to be a straight fight between those guys. O'Hara's back up to second already. In fact, he's ahead of Chris Munro, so Munro's had either a really bad in-lap or Andy O'Hara has had a brilliant out-lap. But either way, Andy O'Hara effectively leads this race. He's done his mandatory pit stop, and he's ahead of Chris Munro. And we know that Andy O'Hara is brilliant at making tyres last. So if you caught one of our GT3 round coverages, you saw that at the Nordschleife, Andy O'Hara managed to make a 2-hour race with a one-stop strategy work. He's also very good at making fuel last too. So if he has underfueled or done something different with his pit stop, it's all based on genuine race pace now. Munro, it looks like Munro is actually caught up behind Hum at the moment. Hum now into the pits. Munro will be rather frustrated by that. He's lost the lead. And it's a significant gap between himself and O'Hara. Wait for that to correct. 6.2 seconds. So something has gone wrong for Chris Munro on that pit stop. And that's given Andy O'Hara a massive lead. Just going to swap back quickly here as we see a good battle developing between, oh, going the wrong way without, oh, Hobson and Campbell. Campbell around. Don't think he was aware that that Hobson was behind it. And this will be a free pass for Chris Munro's safety car. Jeez, I can't remember another race with AK that we've had this many safety cars. If you're new here, you'll know that very rare that we have a safety car. This is really a free life for Chris Munro and even for Cortum and Delaney, as it will bunch the field right back up again. Have them right under the rear wing of Andy O'Hara. Wait for the field to come under control of the safety car. We've got one driver who's taking advantage of it and coming into pit lane. That will be Cycluna. And Eaton as well, so that's a free pass for those guys as well. Tom Lauder as well, so well, Christmas has come early for all those guys, that's for sure. So we jump on board with Andy O'Hara as we look back at the field as they make their way through turn number 4. And headlights are ablaze on the 185 Nissan. So we know that Chris Munro means business now. There we go. We got the notification that the safety car will be in this lap, and we are set for a restart. Can O'Hara hold off Munro? Munro had the pace earlier in the race. It's now his turn to be tucked right up under the rear wing of the car ahead. Actually quickly go to free cam mode here and watch the field as they make their way through the fishhook. What a sight. 22 V8 Supercars making their way through that fishhook. So we're going to go chase the field down the main straight, really. Set for a start now. When will O'Hara go? He'll go right now. As we're back to racing. Oh, we've gone through a building there. Oh, we got one driver into the pit lane. That's Fashni. Have we got through turn one cleanly? Yes, we have. O'Hara still in front. A few opportunistic passes into turn number one. Oh, what? Wait. I think we've had a disconnect. What? Oh, no. Rotten luck. I think that has to be a disconnect for Chris Munro. Oh, you... Oh. That's not the first time either for Munro. So... Oh, absolutely gutting for Chris Munro. What can you say about that? That's just... No, I hope he can rejoin the circuit as quickly as possible. I can only... what can you say about that? Absolutely rotten luck for Chris Munro. He's in there with a shot at the back of Andy O'Hara. So we watch this battle between the two Shell V-Power Mustangs as Delaney makes his way through on the inside of Corton. So as much as I feel bad for Chris Munro, in fact he has rejoined the server in the pit lane at the moment. I don't think he's going to get any significant points from this race. Still got a race going on here. Delaney, Corderman, Reed, they're side by side again. Cotter and Munro waiting in the wings just to pick up the pieces. Oh, this is brilliant battling here. Oh, Cotter sideways into turn number 4. He's right up behind his Walkinshaw Andretti United teammate. He's also got Matt Munro. So for the Munro fans, you've still got Matt Munro sitting in 6th place at the moment, although he's got Spinozzi right behind him, and we have safety car again. Oh no, that's Anton Ches. He's planted it into the barrier coming out of turn number 1. And that is a DNF for Ches, and Richards as well. He's binned it going through the roller coaster section. So that's a free kick again for Chris Munro, wherever he is, there he is there. So see if he's allowed a bit of a free pass on the field. Come on, Stewards, let Chris Munro have a free pass. That's a very quick safety car period. So O'Hara probably getting a little bit frustrated by this. He just wants to lead. He just wants to try and get the W in this race and get it wrapped up quickly. Consolidate that already reasonably sizable gap he has in the championship. So as the field makes their way out of the fishhook. Let's not go that far off the track. Look at Cortum, he's right under the rear wing of O'Hara. Now, when will O'Hara go this time? He's going to go right now. You can just hear him feeding the power on nice and gently. And he's off to a good start. You can see Chris Munro. Oh, actually, that battle is getting a little bit spicy there. We've got Matt Munro's looking up the inside of Cotter. Make their way up to turn number 4. Oh, Cotter got it very loose just before turn number 3. Munro sideways. So we're quickly going to swap over to them. Running out of laps, 9 laps to go. Spinozzi's looking very racy as well on the green Monster Energy Nissan. We're going to jump on board with him as well. He's got Crab right behind him, so Crab's had a bit of a shocker in the pit stop phase as well. He's dropped it right down to 8th behind Spinozzi. And look at that, Thornton. He's up into the top 10. That's been a brilliant fight back for Thornton. He's now tucked up underneath Ben Crab's rear wing. The field streaks down towards the fishhook now. Bounce over that curb. Make their way to the final 2 corners on this track. So for Thornton, it'll be getting a little bit hard now as Crab gets it wrong out of the second last corner. He's under pressure now, Thornton. He's going for the move now, down the main straight. He's got the overlap. This will be an easy move into turn number 1 for Thornton, you would think. Doesn't even lock a brake. Brilliant driving there for Thornton. Didn't have to do much, just applied the pressure to the back of Crab. And now he sits in 8th position. While this battle for 5th, this is for the top 5. Cotter's done everything right to hold off Matt Munro. Allowed Reed to just skip away in the distance. Meanwhile, O'Hara hasn't really pulled away from the field like he did after the previous safety car. He's still got the 2 Shell Helix Mustangs, or Shell V-Power Mustangs behind him. Shell Helix, there's a last one past. Now Thornton up the inside of Spinozzi. Tick another one. Next in the insights will be Matt Munro. He's still got plenty of laps to make it happen. So Munro gets it wrong in the fishhook. He knows that Thornton's behind him now. So we're going to look out the back of Munro's car now. Swap back to Thornton. Make our way up to turn number 4. Misses the apex slightly. It's going to give Munro a little bit of a break. Oh, another driver out of the server. That's Ball. What is going on tonight? Having disconnects everywhere. We can see Matt Munro in the background, well, Chris Munro, sorry. He's up behind the two all-white Mustangs of Lauder and Richards. I think this is a little bit more important here, the battle between the other Munro and Thornton. And Matt's done a pretty good job to hold off Thornton this lap, and he's even managed to close the gap down onto Cotter. Look at that gaggle of cars just behind Spinozzi. Once again, another brilliant performance from Spinozzi there. Currently in 8th position. He started in 15th. I said to keep an eye on him. New car's running wide, coming out of the final corner. Here comes Thornton. Will he look up the inside? Not quite close enough this time round. Oh, Munro slides out of turn number 1. Pressure's starting to get to him. Got a lap car, I think that's Ball. And the Penrite Commodore gets out of the way. How's that for intimidation? 55. Mustang. It's actually quite a good look for the Mustang, I think. The matte black. Oh, how close do you want it? Will Thornton go up the inside? No. Just too far this time round. Oh, that's so close. So we're right on board with Thornton now. Doesn't get the best exit. A little wobble under brakes there for Matt Munro, so he's definitely feeling the pressure. Oh, what's going on up the front? I've missed this. Andy O'Hara's dropped back down to 2nd position behind Cortum. He's still got Delaney as well right up behind him, so what has happened? Oh, look at the slide from O'Hara. Has he... I wonder if he's made a mistake in the fishhook. So we're so focused on the battle between Thornton and Munro that we've missed this. However, O'Hara is quickly gathering himself up again. Oh, another slide. I wonder if he's got some sort of mechanical failure. Maybe nursing a bit of damage. That car is not looking settled. Right on, just looking over the left shoulder of the driver. Have a quick look at the wheeled action, just get an idea of what this car is doing for O'Hara. I wonder if this has just been strategy played to perfection by Corton. Rejoin the trackside camera. O'Hara's not able to get onto the back of Cortum just yet. They're menacing. He's running out of laps though. We're on lap 27 of 31. He does manage to get onto the back of Quantum. He's not going to have a lot of time to make the move stick. Quantum's doing a good job. He's just, looks like he's just managing the gap a little bit to O'Hara as we ride on board and looking back at the number 23 Red Bull Commodore. Just something about the O'Hara's car, it's not, just doesn't look as hooked up as it was earlier in the race. Oh no, we have a driver dropping down the field. It's Munro. So Matt Munro, he's crawling into the pit lane. Has he run out of fuel? Well, we got nothing. Nothing from the engine. I think he is out of fuel. Oh, heartbreak for the Munro family. It just goes from bad to worse for these guys. And he's going to crawl to a stop. Must be out of fuel. Meanwhile, still at the front of the field, sorry. Quantum, he's got O'Hara right under his rear wing, and O'Hara is in striking distance. So we head up, make our way up to the fish hook. Strong exits from both these drivers. Make their way down the main straight one more time. We'll tick off another lap. O'Hara is in striking distance now. Best opportunities at turn one. Just on the other side of this roller coaster that we're heading up to now. So we're going to ride on board with Quantum. Oh, Quantum gets a bad exit. O'Hara's just going to get a little bit closer. If he can keep it nice and tight here, which he does. Heading up to the next passing opportunity now. Will O'Hara go for the dive? Not quite, just not close enough this time. There's another opportunity just coming up. Quantum's got it covered. What a brilliant race we're watching right now. Quantum has to go defensive on O'Hara. Has he pulled it up? He has. O'Hara's going to get a real good exit out of the fish hook. Now Delaney, he's sitting there. He's in a good position here. If O'Hara and Quantum get tangled up together, Delaney will take the lead of the race. So we ride on board now with Andy O'Hara. He's got the blowtorch on the back of the Mustang. So we make our way into turn number one. Running out of laps though, we're on lap 30, penultimate lap. Off camera, Thornton's had a mishap as well. He's fallen down to 14th. So the race from hell goes from bad to worse for Thornton. Caught him. He's just managed to pull out a little bit in this middle sector. Just manages to close the gap a little bit, but if we look at, well, we just had the camera there. He's still got Delaney all over the back of him. Delaney's doing a favour for his teammate by the looks of things. He's got the pressure on O'Hara. So O'Hara's being attacked from two ends. So final lap time. Has Courtney done enough? He's got a little gap over Andy O'Hara now. In fact, O'Hara is just falling into the clutches of Delaney now. These three have cleared off from Reed and Cotter. Oh, O'Hara slides out of turn number 4. He's vulnerable now. We're joined now with Delaney. This battle's not done yet. Will he go for the dive bomb? No, he doesn't. Oh, he grabs the front right, sorry. That drops him right off the back of O'Hara now. But caught him. By the looks of things, he's done enough. So we enter the final sector of the circuit. Into the fishhook we go. O'Hara closes a little bit, but he just can't get it. He's not going to have enough, so caught him. He rounds the final corner in the 45 Mustang. And he will take out race 1 of tonight's action. So Courtney wins race number 1 ahead of Andy O'Hara and Delaney. So the Shell V-Power Mustangs both on the podium. Brilliant drive from those two. It's on for P7. Oh, Spinozzi off wide. He's going to drop off. He's going to drop a couple of places. Oh, he just manages to hang on from Hum. Oh, what a race. That had a little bit of everything. Oh, we got a few cars spread off into the gravel trap. What a race. So let's have a look at the standings from race number 1. So, your winner, Courtney in the number 45 Mustang. He edges ahead of Andy O'Hara and his teammate Delaney, who will round off the podium, making 2 Shell V-Power Mustangs on the podium. Reedy didn't have enough to stay in touch with the 3 drivers ahead of him. He'll take out 4th position while his teammate Cotter will round out the top 5 in the second of the WAU Commodores. Ben Crabb, he'll be happy with 6th position, while Nichols will scrape in for 7th. Spinozzi, brilliant race for him. He started off 15th and ended up 8th. Hum and Cycluna will round out the 10. Over the page we have Hobson. Great performance from him. He had an up and down race. He will finish 11th, while Tom Lauder, he will manage to scrape through for 12th. And Thornton, disappointing race for him. After being up in the top 5 for much of that race, he's made a mistake somewhere and dropped right down to 13th position. Campbell, he comes home in 14th, while Richards rounds out the top 15. Eaton, Hall, Vaishni, Ball, Chris Munro. Rotten luck for Chris Munro. Looked like a disconnection about halfway through the race. He will finish in 20th, while his brother, Matt Munro, looked like he ran out of fuel and ended up dropping out of the top 10. And Anton Ches, where we saw him, he binned it into the fence coming out of turn number 1, while Gutterson and Ellis 2 DNFs for race number 2. Now race number 1. Race number 2 is coming up next. That will be a reverse grid race. So just gonna have a quick walk down to, if we can find him, Ches. Oh, there he is there. He will be your pole sitter for race number 2. And starting beside him will be Matt Munro. Now, even though it was a disastrous race number 1 for Chris Munro, he will be starting off the 2nd row. So, oh, could be a Munro 1-2 in race number 2. You never know. But what do you guys at home? What do you guys think of that race? That had a little bit of everything. So, while we wait for race number 2 to begin, let me know your thoughts on drive of the race. For me, it's going to be, I'm going to have to go with, I want to say it was, Cortum for winning that race. He had maximum pressure in those last few laps, but he managed to hold off Andy O'Hara, so I'm definitely going to give my drive of the race to Cortum there, but a close second has to be Spinozzi. Again, another fantastic drive from 15th up to 8th. And in this field, that is not an easy thing to achieve. So, you guys at home, wherever you're joining us from around the world, let me know in chat what you think of who your driver of the race is. And then give me your predictions for race number 2, which is coming up in the next 2 minutes and 20 seconds. We are a minute away from the field making their way out to the grid for the start of race number 2, the reverse grid race. Race 1, that was a drama-packed race. what will race number 2 give us? I mean, of course, reverse grid races. We all know that reverse grid races tend to kick up a fair bit of action. But, I'd love to know your predictions. Let me know where you're joining us from. Anywhere around the world here on Twitch TV, Go Race Promotions. Let me know if you're enjoying the footage. Let me know if you're enjoying the stream so far. Predict an interesting turn number 1. Well, turn number 1 is always interesting disinformation, as the field will now spawn onto the grid. There we go. So, oh, well, wrong. Chris Munro will be on the front row. So there you go. I was wrong. I did predict that Anton Ches and Matt Munro will be starting the race on row number 1, but they're right at the back there. So I don't think the DNF was very helpful for them. So Chris Munro with a fantastic opportunity to pull away from the rest of the field and his rivals and claim an easy win. Let's just hope that the gods of internet connections will stay with him this time instead of abandoning him like in race number 1. Starting beside him will be Ball in number 33, Penrod. Another driver, a bit of a victim of a DC. And then Faishney. Faishney off of 3rd row. Next to him will be Hall in 2nd of the Nissan Altimas. And we have Eaton in the number 14, DeWalt Commodore. He will start off a 5th position. Well, I'm going to say that is Richards in the first of the all-white Mustangs. Don't really know what livery that was supposed to be. I did re-download all the liveries, but obviously I didn't get the right one. That's not Brock. That is... I cannot remember who that is, but it's definitely not Brock. And we have Thornton. Well, Thornton had a disastrous race number 1, but he didn't suffer the mighty DC. He just struggled to keep it on the black stuff. Well, Tom Lauder in the 2nd of the all-white Mustangs. He will be starting next to Thornton. Then we have Hobson. Great performance from Hobson in qualifying. Saw him in the top 10, and then he had an up and down crazy race in race number 1. And we're going to move back slowly to Cycluna in the number 28 Milwaukee Mustang. He was involved in a very stiff battle along with Hum and Spinozzi. Of course, Spinozzi, we saw him run very wide out of the final corner in the final lap. Then we have Nichols. Nichols, Crab, Cotter, Reed, Delaney, and O'Hara and Corton. Then we have Munro and Ches on the back row. Well, we're about set for a start as the lights come on. Let's start counting them down. We have 1, 2, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, 6 lights. We have a pause, and then we're racing. Oh, a bit of a slow start for Munro, but the whole field gets away nicely. We don't have anyone stalled on the grid this time round. And they're fanning out 3, 4 wide, going to turn number 1. And looks like everyone's going to give each other heaps of space. Oh no, we have a car around. That looks like Hall. And we're going to have a safety car by the looks of things. So the field will be brought under control. And we've still got a few drivers just bickering for position under the safety car. So Hall gets a bit of a free kick there. He's not going to lose much time. So we're going to go over to our broadcast now. And oh, we have a couple of drivers already off up. No, those two didn't even start the race, never mind. Now that was an exciting first corner. Wasn't as interesting as what I was predicting though. They actually showed a fair bit of respect there. But a brilliant start there from Richards. He's up to 3rd position already. just swap over to the broadcast now. With Chris Munro leading the field. He's got Ball and Richards just behind him. O'Hara and Cordham haven't had a strong start. They're still in almost the same position they were when the race started. Going to ride on board with Ball. So he looks at the back of the number 185 Nissan Altima, the Rabble Club Nissan of Chris Munro. So let's just hope that the internet gods stay with Chris Munro this time. Set for a restart. Chris Munro, he'll lead the field away. So around the final 2 corners. As we are set for a restart again. When will Chris pick up the throttle? We're in the right camera. There we go. So Munro gets a great restart. He catches Ball napping a little bit. He's opened up half a second gap already. So are we going to get through turn number 1 cleanly? Thornton looked up the inside of Campbell just ahead of him, and it looks like we will get through turn number 1 cleanly this time. Oh, we have a few drivers getting a little bit side by side, a little close to each other in turn number 3, but looks like they'll sort it out before the first hairpin, or second hairpin I should say. As you see the 2 Walkinshaw cars nose to tail, they're trying to go up the inside of Spinozzi, just behind Nichols, the super cheap Mustang. And Spinozzi will have to file in behind Cotter this time round. That's the view out the back of Spinozzi's Nissan. As Reid thinks about a bit of a send there. He's just got the nose in. See Crab in the background. He's struggling to get the power down. As Reid around the outside of Spinozzi. Can he make it work? He can make it work. So Reid up into 14th, knocks Spinozzi down to 15th. He's going to lose 15th to Delaney, I think. Bit of a traffic jam into the fish hook. As we see Campbell, he's almost had to go through the fish hook without taking the corner properly. But Chris Munro out to almost 2 seconds over Ball and Richards. As see drivers side by side coming onto the main straight. It's Hummies trying to get up the inside of Campbell. They've both got lauded just ahead of them. And Hummer's up the inside. He'll get the move done before turn number 1. Oh, a bit of side-to-side contact there. Hobson in the first of the super cheap Mustangs. He's got the box seat for these 2. He's also got Cotter just behind him. So we jump on board with Cotter now. Oh no, I've just pressed the wrong button again. Mayfield streaks their way down to over the crest. So jump back on board with Cotter. Flying up for a bit of a send. Here we go, up the inside. Hobson gives him room. Brilliant bit of driving by these 2. They're still side by side. Cotter trying to make it work around the outside. Hobson's gonna have to yield. Oh, look at the angry battle pack behind. They're almost 3 wide behind these guys. As Cycluna now lines up to get past Hobson. Into the fish hook they go. And Hobson he just manages to hold off Cycluna, but Cycluna's going to be vulnerable to Reid now. Oh, which way do you go here? Hobson, he's going to lose out to, a bit of a touch. Thompson will be able to sneak back in front of Reed. Oh, this is looking nasty. Andy O'Hara's just decided he's had enough of that. He's into the pits. So O'Hara's looking for clean air as they go 2x2 into turn number 1. Oh, they touch. That's a driver off the track that looked like it was Delaney. So Delaney, that's not what he would have wanted going into turn 1. Look at that. Look at that field as they make their way through turn number 4. We got them going almost 3 wide through the hairpin, and now up the what do we call it? The roller coaster. The right, left, right. Over the crest we go. Oh, they're still trying to have passing maneuver. Oh, look at that. That was Munro. He was side by side with Hall. So we now rejoin these guys. Matt Munro. He now has to fall behind Delaney. He'll be vulnerable to Ches now. Into the next corner. Oh, we got smoke signals everywhere in front of Munro. Now they're 3 wide just up ahead. So Hall in the middle of the action. Delaney's trying to fight back after going off the track at turn number 1. Oh, reverse grid races. Some may hate them, but geez, you can't deny that they come some of the best action. Cycluna up ahead. He's being monstered by Nichols and Reed. And he'll have to drop behind Reed. Although he'll still have a little bit of an overlap. No, he doesn't. He's definitely had to fall behind Reed this time round. What a lap. I mean, all this fighting, that's just given the drivers ahead a huge gap. Still more smoke signals up ahead of Cycluna. As Delaney's decided now he's had enough. He's into the pit lane. But that would have been costly. As we hear O'Hara, there he goes. So O'Hara's already in front. And he will have gapped him. Gruesome Imp, thank you for the follow, mate. Hope you're enjoying the footage. I hope you're enjoying the coverage of this round. As we jump back to this insane battle for 11th position. And Nichols and Reed have just started to gap Cycluna a little bit. Everything's just started to settle down now. See Ben Crabb in the background there, gets a little bit sideways ahead of Corton. He's trying to close the gap onto Spinozzi. So we jump on board with Ben Crabb now. Spinozzi now, he's got a chance up the inside of Cycluna. He gets it done. So Spinozzi now up to 13th. But Cycluna will be fighting back. But Spinozzi goes defensive early down the straight. Oh, they're gonna go 3 wide into turn 1, are they? They are. Oh, big send from Crabb. And that's gonna involve that whole battle pack. So I see it looks like Cortum, Spinozzi and Hall both involved. They're the biggest losers out of all that. So that was a big send. That didn't work out for Crabb that time. They were 3 wide. Usually spells disaster. Now, meanwhile, back at the front, I've paid no attention to this, but Thornton is now sitting in 4th position. He's ahead of a 4-car train here. He's got Vaishni just behind him in the local Legends Commodore. So Vaishni's doing really well to hang on to a top 5 position for now. He's just starting to pull away a little bit here. He's going to have to take a couple of deep breaths after all that. Wild lap. Oh no! That looks like Lauder. So Lauder's got it wrong out of the final corner. He's looped it in front of the entire field. Ah, Monjan, thank you for the subscription. Ah, Tom Lauder thought he would have gone into the pits after that. What a struggle of a night for Tom Lauder. I want to say that's his debut in Season 4 tonight. It's just been a struggle of a night for Lauder. It's definitely a lot better in the GT3 cars, I have to say. Again, finds himself back down the field. Been a wild night so far for all these drivers. And while Nichols and Reed, they find themselves up into the top 10 now. Looks like Reed is just working with Nichols at the moment. They're making good time on Campbell ahead in the Boost Mustang. Looks like they're also bringing Hum along as well. Well, Campbell runs it wide. That'll bring Nichols and Reed even closer to the back of the Boost Mustang. We ride on board with the super cheap Mustang. And we'll keep an eye down in 20th position. O'Hara, I've just seen him take... Oh no, caught him. What's happened to Cordham? He's got it wrong at turn number 3. I want to say that he grabbed that curb. So this race is just going, it's just becoming a disaster for the Shell V-Power team. They're already behind O'Hara, and O'Hara's done his pit stop. Back to Laney, he's really far down. I wonder if Delaney's had a bit of a bin as well. Oh, there we go. So Thornton now up into second position. He's managed to dispatch Richards and Ball. Oh, I missed that, unfortunately. But we just saw our leader, Chris Munro, already through turn number 1. So Thornton's got a long way to go if he wants to catch Chris Munro this race. Oh, big lock up into turn number 1. Follow Richards. He's all over the back of the Ball Commodore. Oh, runs it wide. Richards will be looking for a switchback down the roller coaster. Oh, he gets it wrong out of turn number 4, so that'll give Ball a bit of a break. Something else I've also missed was Reed and Nichols. They've both got Campbell, but Reed has also managed to take Nichols. And now they'll be trying to chase down Eaton as Richards gets it sideways again. He just needs to settle down a little bit here. Oh, big slide from Ball, but Richards runs it too deep. He's going to be vulnerable to Fashioney and Cotter soon if he's not careful. Just needs to take a deep breath now. Calm himself down and just refocus getting onto the back of Ball. Oh, Ball's way off the track. Decide to do a bit of motocrossing through the fish hook. That'll bring Richards right onto the back of him again. I reckon he's flat spotted a tyre. Now I'm seeing Cyclona falling back through the field. what's happened to Cyclone? Look at this battle pack ahead. Just behind Tom Lauder, we got Hobson, Ches and Crab. All battling for 14th position. And look at that, Andy O'Hara already onto the back of these guys. He's looking up the inside of Hall, and Cyclone will be able to get both of them. Hall just moves over on him. This is costing O'Hara a little bit. He's in a really good position. He won't win the race, I never say never. He's in an awkward spot here. He's looking at Cycluna and Hall ahead of him. The Cycluna's gone backwards at a rate of knots on the previous lap. I don't know what's happened to him. But I have a feeling that O'Hara will go for the dive here. There he goes, up the inside. Absolutely textbook. Textbook block pass. And he'll be able to hold on to the position. And Cycluna is now vulnerable to both Cordham and Spinozzi. We've got smoke signals up ahead, and that looks like Hall. That will be another position for O'Hara, you would think. You see Eaton into the pits now. And we see Lauder into the pits as well. So, Andy O'Hara up the inside, he'll get it done. We have a battle up ahead. Oh, who was that? That was Crab off the track. He's going to rejoin right next to Cycluna and Spinozzi. In fact, I think we got more cars off the track. Oh, Cycluna off the track now. Oh, what a race already. Not even halfway through. That's the best part. Rejoining Richards, who has managed to get around Ball now. But Cotter is coming. He's managed to dispatch Fashioney. He'll be on the back of these two very, very quickly, I would like to think, as Richards runs it in too deep. It's Chris Munro, 141.6, so I think the pace is going out of the Rabble Club Nissan, or he's just saving the tyres. And look at the gap Thornton's pulled on these guys already as well. O'Hara now. He's already up to 13th, and he's already made his pit stop. Next on his list is this man here, Hobson. Oh, I had the right camera there. There we go. Looking back at O'Hara now. So make their way through turn number one. O'Hara closes right onto the back. O'Hara looking for the switchback now. Worst part is, there's a bit of a passing opportunity over the crest of this roller coaster. We go for the dive here. He probably thought about it. Hobson has managed to hold him off for now. But I would say that O'Hara will go for the dive right here. Decent send, gets the move done. Again, textbook stuff from Andy O'Hara. The best thing is, the drivers ahead of O'Hara, they haven't pitted yet. O'Hara's already done his stop. Of course, the sacrifice is that he's going to have some pretty ragged tyres by the end of this race. So we now rejoin Ball, Cotter, and just Ball and Cotter at the moment. Fashioney is very vulnerable at the moment. He's got Reed right behind him. Reed can't make the move at turn number 4. So we're right on board with Reed now, looking at the back of Fashioney's local Legends Commodore. Fashioney going defensive. Not defensive enough. Oh, he has done defensive. He has gone defensive enough. That would have frustrated Reed a little bit, but he didn't make any contact whatsoever. Fashioney, how's the pressure being put on him? Goes defensive again, but he's going to cook it. And that will give Reed the place. So, they actually made that easy for Reed in the end. Just saw that he was driving really defensive. Probably putting too much pressure on himself to try and carry the braking a little too late. Because the best thing you can do when you are defending is just to stick to your rhythm. Anyway, Peter Reed now up into 6th place. He started at the back. Just trying to keep an eye on some battles down the field. We have got a decent battle coming on here. Ben Crabby touches the back of Corton. So Ben Crabbe in the wars again. So I think Ben Crabbe probably just putting a little too much pressure on himself to get the moves done. Oh, Corton, he's probably got a little bit of damage on the back of that Shell V-Power Mustang. But I wouldn't be surprised if Crabbe has got some damage on the front of that Nissan too. We have our first DNF of the race in Hall. Hope that was not another disconnection. Of course, Hall disconnected from race number 1. And here we go, Fashioney again running very deep into the fishhook. It's going to leave him vulnerable on the exit to Nichols. So we'll see if Fashioney, he'll go into the pits this time round. He's got Nichols right behind him. Oh, how close do you want it? That's very close, actually. That's incredibly close. Ah, that was a little unexpected. As Nichols is already moving, he will get around Fashioney now. See Matt Munro also in the pit lane, so... well, that was something. That's not something you see in real racing. So we're now into the phase of the race where we start seeing some pit stops starting to play out. Andy O'Hara now into the top 10. So of course Andy O'Hara, he pitted on I believe it was lap number 3, got himself out of the shenanigans of the mid-pack, and now sits in 7th position. And he's banking on no safety car periods for the remainder of this race. Oh, geez, look at this. Hobson again in the middle of all the action. He's got 4 or 5 cars backed up behind him. Got Anton Ches, Peter Reid, Spinozzi, Eaton, and that's it. Eaton bring up the rear of this battle pack as Reid is looking everywhere, left and right on the back of Ches. So Reid has come in, done his pit stop. He is on fresh tyres. It's all about patience now. As into the pit lane goes Hobson and Spinozzi. And Reid gets the move done on Ches. Just trying to find any battle on the track at the moment. Reid, he's in a good position. All these guys that have pitted, they just need another safety car, I reckon. That'll bring them right onto the back of Chris Munro. Ches under all sorts of pressure from Eaton in the DeWalt Commodore. Ches still to make his pit stop as we see our leader Chris Munro into the pit lane. I think the tyres have absolutely gone on the number 13 Nissan. Just battling to get it out of the corners. It does look as though Chris Munro will keep the lead of the race. He's already into turn number 4. But this man here, Andy O'Hara, into second place. So again, the pit early strategy has worked for O'Hara, but he is on very old tyres. While Thornton and Richards behind him, they are on fresh set of tyres. They will be on the pace very, very early. The question is, can O'Hara consolidate and hold on to second? Because we know that Thornton's got pace. But we also know that O'Hara is very good at looking after tyres, very good at managing his fuel load. In fact, the gap already dropping between O'Hara and Thornton. So Thornton, he'll be on the back of Andy O'Hara very, very soon, I think. In fact, the gap is already under a second between the Red Bull Commodore and the Truck Assist Mustang. Oh, we have a car off the track. It's Eaton. He's looped it. Oh, no. Again. He's looped it coming out of the fishhook. He's managed to recover. Eaton, he's having a brilliant race up inside the top 10. Trying to remember who he was battling with at the time. I think it was Richards. And here we go, the battle's on between Thornton and O'Hara. Thornton on brand new tyres. See the back end of the number 23 just moving around too much. He won't be able to do anything to defend against this, as up the inside goes Thornton. Gets the move done. And he'll he'll make his way into second position. So the question will be if O'Hara can manage the gap between himself and Richards for the next, what is that, 12, 13 laps? We'll see what the pace is and we'll just monitor the gap. Although Richards is under all sorts of pressure from Reed. So we're right on board now with Reed, looking at the back of Richards' Mustang. Battling, it might bring the second of the WAU Commodores into this in Cotter, currently sitting in 6th. He's a few seconds off the back of these guys. We now look back at the number 1. Make our way down through the roller coaster. See Richard, he runs a little wide. That'll give a small opening for Reed. Just have a look at that. How do you want that any closer? So now Reed looks up the inside going into the fish hook. Can he get the move done? He can't. Richards just outbreaks him so well. Going into the fish hook, I thought he was going to run wide, but he managed to pull it up. The thing is, even though these guys are battling, they're still slowly closing the gap to O'Hara. Here we go again, part 2 into turn number 1. Reed thinks about it, he pulls out of it, but Richards runs a little bit wide. He's going to allow Reed up the inside. They're level with each other. And Reed will finally get the move done. No, Richards hangs it around the outside into turn number 4. They're still side by side. They touch. Oh, brilliant racing by these two. So Reed. Oh no, Eaton gets a drive-through penalty for speeding in pit lane. Disastrous for Eaton. Wasn't a good race for him already. Peter Reed now up into 4th position, and he'll be chasing down Andy O'Hara ahead of him. But Cotter is also closing onto the back of Richards as well. So Richards will find himself defending from another Walkinshaw Commodore very quickly. Gap is already down under, it'll be under 2 seconds by the end of this lap, I think. As in fact, O'Hara is going in for a second pit stop. So he's bit the bullet. He's going for a 2-stop strategy this race. So it'll be interesting to see if that strategy works. We'll wait and see where he comes out. I'm going to guess he'll come out in about P12. So a huge gamble for O'Hara. It didn't work, so he's decided to go in for a second stop. And indeed, he comes out in 11th position, just ahead of Matt Munro. So now O'Hara on fresh tyres with just under 10 laps to go. We'll be waiting to see where he manages to finish this race. Back up in 4th place. Cotter is just starting to reel Richards in. Oh, sideways there for Cotter. He is really pushing really hard trying to get onto the back of Eaton. It's cost him a fair bit of time, and sideways again into the fishhook. Just needs to take a breath. Take another breath, Cotter. Here's a battle just noticed. We've got Spinozzi, and he's got Cortum right behind him. As we look out the back of Spinozzi's Nissan at the 45 Mustang. In fact, here comes Cortum. He's got to run out of the final corner, and he'll be able to make the move stick into turn number 1. Very easy for Cortum. He's got Matt Munro just up ahead. Spinozzi didn't argue the point that time. Oh, we got a car off the track. It's Richards. So we were saying that he was coming under pressure from Cotter, and he's just made a mistake in the middle sector, and it's very easy to do. You just carry a little bit too much pace through that quick right-hander, grab too much curb, you will fly off the track. Already Andy O'Hara is starting to, he's climbed his way back into the top 10. Like, where is he? Oh good, I thought he fell off the track there. Next on O'Hara's list will be Faishney. Meanwhile, again, oh, Matt Munro's had a, I think he's binned it as well. So he's now behind Spinozzi. Looking around the outside into turn number 1. Might be able to make it work with the banking. Spinozzi slowly climbing back up the leaderboard. He had a great race number 1 after starting in 15th. He ended up in 8th position. So we know that Spinozzi is rather good at racing, but maybe not so much qualifying. Spinozzi's just starting to pull away from Matt Munro, so I think Munro may have taken the best out of his tyres. Well, here's a battle brewing here. Nichols and Hum, 2 Mustangs, head down the main straight. Hum's definitely got the pace on Nichols at the moment. Nichols locks a brake going into turn number 1. This will give Hum an opportunity. They touch, and oh, into the fence goes Nichols. And a quick recovery, maybe a little dangerous. And Hum readdressing that very quickly. So hopefully that's play on for both those drivers. And we get on with racing. They've both fallen behind Faishney and O'Hara. In fact, O'Hara is already sniffing at the back of Facially as we come into this downhill right-hander. And that was very easy for O'Hara. Fresh tyres for O'Hara. And that Facially was unfortunately easy pickings for Andy. Now Facially will have to deal with Nichols behind him. Just going to swap over to Facially as we... There's the camera I want. So we're looking at the back of the Commodore. It's a little wide out of the final corner. He's having a really good race at the moment. He's hanging on to the top 10. He's stayed out of trouble. Managed to make it through turn number 1. Now currently sits in 8th position, currently chased by Nichols and Hum. Of course, Facially's benefited greatly from a bit of contact we saw between Nichols and Hum. Just starting to see that Facially's starting to settle into a rhythm again after being taken by Andy O'Hara. It's a little bit too deep there, and that'll give Nichols a chance to close the gap right up. Just noticed up ahead, Ball and Richards are now locked together again. Pretty sure this is not the first time these two have been in close quarters with each other. It's Ball in the Penrite Commodore. They make their way over the crest again into the downhill right-hander. See that Richards is really putting the pressure on the back of Ball. Richards is running out of laps. Ball going defensive early going into the fishhook. It's just going to help Richards close up a little bit more. Looming behind them is Andy O'Hara. Gap now under 5 seconds to these two. Andy O'Hara, 38.7, fastest lap of the race, so he is coming. In fact, the gap between himself and Richards now under 4 seconds already, so O'Hara's not hanging around anymore. He wants to make it into the top 5. Got another battle here. Anton Ches again with Hobson. So Hobson, he's been in the wars this race. I don't think I've seen him in this many battles since we started doing the coverage for AK Racing. Certainly seems to be able to find the centre of all the action tonight. Oh, we have a car way off the track. That would be Matt Munro. Thought I saw a car fall off the track at turn number 4. That was Matt Munro. So again, turn number 3 claims another one. Seeing a lot of people fall off the track there. Meanwhile, just this battle for 14th position that is brewing. We've got Hobson, Ches and Delaney. Definitely have to keep an eye on that one, because I'm just also keeping an eye on this battle here. There we go, Andy O'Hara. You can see the gap has visibly shrunk. In fact, he's 3 seconds a lap faster than these two as ball goes defensive on Richards. That's just going to bring O'Hara even closer to these two. As you can see, Richards looking left and right. Just trying to put as much pressure on the back of the Penrite Commodore as he can. And O'Hara is now there. So we'll have to wait and see if O'Hara can actually get past these two without contact. You would have to say that it's pretty well a foregone conclusion. O'Hara on much fresher tyres than these two. Got a really good seat for the forthcoming send as Richards tried to defend. O'Hara much better traction, can't get it done this time round, but he'll go for the switchback and gets it. He should have it done this time. So Andy O'Hara now up to 6th position. Into the fish hook they go. Looking to make short work of the Ball Commodore ahead of him. In fact, he'll get the run onto the main straight. He's already beside him. And he'll get the move done into turn number 1, I think. Very, very easily. So Andy O'Hara moves up into the top 10 after, top 5 after a 2-stop strategy has played out for him. Now, one thing I really want to focus on is this battle here. Faishney has got Nichols and Cordham behind him. Faishney is holding on by his fingertips to a top 10 finish. Be a massive result for Faishney. He's had a bit of a struggle tonight. But I really want to see him finish in the top 10 in this race. So we're seeing, I see Hobson falling down the leaderboard. So, oh, we have cars off the track. So Nichols off the track. We just saw that then. Looked like Nichols just locked the brake on the entry to the downhill right-hander. And Faishney goes defensive on Cordham. As we right on board with Cordham now. Just see that Faishney is still beside. Ah, crap. Brake failure, mate. Really sorry to hear that. So Cordham should have it done this time. Does he? He does get it done this time. So Faishney, he'll be hanging on to a top 10 finish. He's only got 2 laps to go as we enter the penultimate lap. Chris Munro, we have not spent any time on this guy because he has been so far out ahead of the rest of the field. He's got 18 seconds over his nearest competitor, Thornton. way through the fishhook one more time. Just has one more lap. Oh. I'm gonna hold my breath for Chris Munro. He had the dreaded DC in race number 1. This would be a great way to make up for it. Yeah, really sorry to hear that, Crab. Hopefully you get it sorted out for the next round. As we watch Chris Munro for the last time dip down the hill. We see O'Hara now in a battle with Cotter. Oh no, bit of warping, please, internet. Hold on for him. Just a couple more corners, please. Oh, please, internet. Oh no. I'm not going to even say that he's got this race sewn up, just in case. Judging by the chat, we have a few people holding their breath for Chris Munro. As he comes out of the final corner, Chris Munro, he'll take the win in race number 2. Perfectly makes up for the disaster of race number 1 as we have cars off the track up ahead. As we still got this battle between Cotter and O'Hara. Thornton and Reed should take 2nd and 3rd respectively. But this battle is still going on. And O'Hara, he's going to try and pull up the inside, going across the line, but it will be Cotter who gets ahead of O'Hara. And face, oh, what's going on here? We got carnage on the final lap through the fishhook. Campbell has come off the track. He's still recovering. We just saw the end of that one. Nichols would sneak into the top 10. Faishney, unfortunately, was not able to sneak into the top 10. Still got a battle going on here between Hobson and Lauder. Well, there you go. That's pretty well the end of the race. Still just waiting on Eaton and Cycluna. As we can see, Cycluna coming out of the fishhook. As here comes Eaton. He'll cross the line in 19th, and we'll just wait for the last of our finishers, which is Cycluna. So there you have it. Race number 2 in the bag there. Let's go through the results. So Chris Munro, Internet Gods stayed with him for race number 2. He'll take out the W, while Thornton comes home in 2nd. Reed in 3rd position, while Cotter managed to hold off O'Hara, who managed to make a 2-stop strategy work. Ball in 6th place, while Richards in 7th. Cortum, Hum and Nichols round out the top 10. Over the page we've got Spinozzi, Faishney, Delaney, Ches and Campbell. That's your top 15. Hobson, Lauder, Matt Munro, Eaton and Cycluna for the remainder of the top 20. Crab, brake failure, as he told us in the chat. Huge disaster for him. He's the first of our DNFs. Then we have Hall, Guttison and Ellis. That's our DNFs. That's our DNFs for race number 2. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What a night of racing. Zandvoort never fails to turn it on for us, and it's absolutely brilliant to see. So that's it for tonight's action, but be assured we still have plenty of racing coming up tonight. Not tonight, sorry, this week. So, of course, Sunday night we are back. Sorry, Wednesday night we are back on track for the 90s British Touring Car Championship with AK Racing. But then also for Go Race Promotions, we have a few events coming up. Of course, our 2-race Australian Touring Car Group A Challenge. Race 1 takes place this coming Thursday and then next Thursday. If you want to get involved in that, you can shoot us an email just as we put it up in chat. Right there, you can send us an email there and we can get you into our Discord. Yes, definitely keep an eye out for AK Racing's next round, which will be on Wednesday night for British Touring Cars, which is always very entertaining. But head back to the track now. So, for those of you sitting at home, we've already got one driver of the day, which was Fashni from Mongen. I do have to say that was some great defensive driving. Andy, you're saying that there was some pretty rough driving from your mate. That was very aggressive driving, but I didn't see any crashes. And David, 16, mate, we will have this up on YouTube hopefully tomorrow. By tomorrow, we will post in the AK Racing Discord. As we do watch it fade away. But, let me know in chat right now while we wait to end the stream. Let us know who your driver of the day was. I do have to say that the best defensive driving I saw was from Fashni. It's very, very aggressive defensive driving. I want to say the 2 WAU drivers, they were driving really well. They managed to fight back through the field. And they managed to stay out of trouble as well. Thornton as well, probably driver of the round after having an up and down race, but he managed to sort of fight his way through without causing too much carnage. I think favourite most ambitious driver has to be Andy again. A 2-stop Stroger. You made it work, mate. Top 5 in race number 2 after starting at the very back. Race number 1 was a disaster. I think race number 1 was a disaster for a couple of people, Dave. Yeah, let me know in chat. Driver of the round. Driver of race number 2 and driver of the round. Love to know your opinions. Well, anyway, I think we'll wrap the stream up here. Make sure you hit the follow or subscribe button. If you think I've done a good enough job, hit me with that subscribe. It's been an absolute pleasure covering this round and, of course, any other race that AK Racing does. Certainly looking forward to Wednesday night when we broadcast the next round of the British Touring Car Championship. Just want to say thank you to everyone for joining the stream tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it, and definitely keep an eye out for this stream to come up on YouTube. We'll hopefully get that uploading tonight. And in the meantime, make sure you hit the follow button for the Twitch channel. And thank you very much for joining me. From all of us at Go Race Promotions, thank you very much, and we hope to see you next time. Adios for now.